Hello, welcome, Tzvi here. What to do if you feel hopeless? This can feel very painful and there's no end in sight, just more and more of the same thing. The first thing I realized is that it is a created emotion from a negative experience in the past, maybe one or many. As I created this negative emotion, I can create, thank God, a positive and enjoyable emotion instead. I was thinking to myself, do I need to keep reinforcing, creating the same old negative experience? Or do I want to create an experience, a way, a reaction in a more positive, more calm, more relaxing, more joyful way? I've been given the free will, thank God for that, to choose the emotion that I want. It's almost like you can create your own identity from these situations. From this negative past, we can keep reacting and keep creating them, or create a new one. What I've found when I label it or call it a name or put it in a box of hopelessness, it keeps coming up and the same feeling, the same negative feeling, the same body getting locked up, the jaw getting locked up, because I created a box that now it relates to. So just as I created it, I can create something more pleasant. The reality is, it's a learned experience. That I can change that learned experiences, but I know the triggers are going to come up. But what I do have a choice of, thank God, is how I react to it. So the trigger comes, I can react in the old way or create the new tracks to create it the way that's going to serve me in a very, very positive way. So I can now find from being locked up to being a no-go future to a bright future by being present right now and applying these tools. I want to expand more on this, give you some live examples to share. Another key part is a whole being mindfulness, being present, being aware. So when those old habits or old triggers come in, we can't control them, we have no interest in controlling, but what we can do is go deep inside of us and realize, this is the trigger, I'm going to go and change it now. You have the ability as well, the God's gift. It's almost like an addiction. There's almost this emotional rush of hopelessness that comes in. It completely overtakes you. You almost feel like, I know for me, that it's like, after it's like, was that me that I did that? It almost like goes straight in and bam, you get hit. But Hashem, God gave us the gift of free will. The free will to choose the emotion attached to the association. We don't have to keep going back to the old habits. I just have to remind myself that I've been given these gifts, like all of you have as well, to make the change. The choice is to stay in the old pattern or to get in the new one. This is why I'm going to share one I think is the most important. Now I've told you that we have the choice to change the emotion. I chose very clearly the word choice. Doesn't mean getting in that boxing ring and taking on that old emotion, or as we like to call it, the evil angel, the Yetzer Hara, trying to take it on. It's been around for a long time, it's programmed us this way, but what I've found is there's also a very strong program we have, is not to fight it, is to just realize and accept it's there. What I mean by that is as soon as that comes in, you know, a certain person will come and trigger you, and you know when that person comes to you, you just don't want to be there. So it's like, okay, do I realize that the person triggering me, or is it something inside? That person was put there for the most amazing lesson. See what's happened straight away? Instead of thinking of that person as something bad and evil, that I realized that God, Hashem, gave us that person there to help teach me an amazing lesson, that I can stay calm, that this person is just a little test. So when I know that's happening, and I know this trigger's going to happen, he's going to say something or whatever, okay, I have the choice to get hooked up into it, or I can stay here and be present right now and just let it be, answer him, acknowledge him, whatever needs to be. If it's a co-worker, a boss, a friend, whatever it is, we can react it another way. And I also say the most powerful thing is to be positive to them. Think of them in a nice way. Now, they may have their own things that they have to deal with and they're trying to throw it on you. That's their choice. We have our choice too, to be nice and grateful and be thankful. And they'll tell you what, from personal experience, and more times you turn it around and you say a kind word, it just diffuses it. Someone can get into a dispute, and by just saying thank you and a kind word, wow, this is amazing that you're so interested in it and you're so passionate about it. All of a sudden, that fire that they've got, they'll sort of throw this little one in there. Oh, it's not you that I'm not interested, that's causing the problem. It's just as big a problem that we have. So all of a sudden, you can see you've broken down their anger as well, and it's taken so much stress off yourself because you realize that, hey, it's not me that's causing it all the time. I don't need to hold on to it. I'm just being present right now. I can be relaxed. They can say whatever they want, and I can use techniques to answer it. I can use techniques to just keep myself calm. I can breathe and just be like a camera on the outside, just observing what's going on. It takes so much stress out of it, and it allows us to be present. We don't have to be feeling the hopelessness, because what we've done is being that camera, we've taken ourselves out of the picture, out of the hot spot, and being completely absorbed by it and realize, hold on a minute, I may be physically there, but emotionally I don't need to be hooked into that other person's energy system. I have my own choices now, and I'm going to be thankful and actually use them. Adding another little one, the fear of the unknown. What I mean by that, the mind likes predictability. What I mean by that is, like, even the old hopelessness is filling up the void of the going to the fear of unknown. But we do know from the Torah that this concept is actually opposite. Our job is just to let go. And the letting go, it can be daunting. I cannot share how much it can be. It's like the unknown to me. I love my routines, and I've had some traumas in the past, and I like that predictability, safe. But now I'm slowly learning over many years that the unknown can be safe as well. I've just done my part, and instead of the unknown being scary and I'm feeling hopelessness, it's almost like just like this whole energy comes over. There's a lack of control. So what happens is instead of like, no, the unknown, I've done my part. And instead of like, I'm feeling hopeless, no, I want to look forward to it. I need to come into a calm place and look forward to it. And if it's still coming over there, I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to just do my part. Sometimes I get distracted, and I was like, I'm getting distracted. The mind and body is not ready to go to that unknown yet. So the trigger's happening. So it's actually trying to get there, but the old habit's still kicking in. Okay, I'll slowly do it. I take a deep breath. I'll nibble away, do a little bit. And the next minute I know it's becoming far more comfortable, the unknown, and it's starting to take it on. I'm slowly working through it. I'm starting to go there. And the more I'm doing calmly, and the more I'm like enjoying it, that fear is like solidifying, just disappearing. It's such a beautiful thing. And at the same time, the fear of unknown has imagination kicking into the old way. So now I have the choice to change my imagination to the new way. I may not be able to see myself there yet, but you can just ask for help. God, please help me see it in a clear way, see it in a calm way. And I tell you what, now we're getting emotions and more parts of the mind working in this new way, in a calm way, that it actually starts overriding the old tracks. It starts rolling and happening. It takes time, like everything else. The more you practice it, the more it happens. And it was difficult at first, and it was tiring, but then I have to keep reminding myself, is the current way of doing it enjoyable? If it was, I wouldn't be wanting to change it. So the answer is obviously yes. So let's go back and redo it again and again. And I get this question all the time, but it's tiring to keep the changes. Okay, just do a little bit in the morning, a little bit at night, and whenever you can, even if that's too much, just do a little bit in the morning. And as you have those tiny little wins later on in the day, it's like, wow, I didn't get triggered from that again. I didn't have that hopelessness feeling come in again. So once again, the little wins, like, okay, the new way's happening. And it's like, instead of like disliking it, like exercise, it's like you just feel like you're not getting anywhere. But when you start seeing the results, it's like, okay, maybe I'll do a bit more. I had another day, I had a little bit more time, I'll change it around. The same thing here. It's like work in progress. Just develop it over time. And the more you enjoy it, the more your mind and body want to take it on. It's all positivity. See how powerful this positivity is? The hopelessness is based on an old fear reaction way of doing things. So we keep bringing more the new way and just allowing it to come in. And you got to remember, It's like an addiction. The old way of hopelessness is an addicted way the body responds to it. So let's create a positive addiction that we can look forward to, that can help us serve us in the way we want to be served. One of the funny things is like when things are going right, it feels beautiful, it feels calm, but the subconscious in the back's like, this is not going to last, it's not going to work, the old habits of hopelessness is going to come in, it's going to kick in. And it's almost like you're preempting it, keep preempting it. So come back to center. This teaches me one very, very big lesson, that if I'm able to move out and I'm able to move back into the hopelessness, it teaches me it's an emotional learned habit, but I don't want that old habit. So I want to learn the new habit. Same habit of just putting the effort in, putting the time in. Number one rule is to come back and center and be calm. Breath work. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is. Simple breath work. We don't need to do fancy, elaborate breath work. Maybe it might be more efficient to you, depends on, but I found majority of people just simple breath work. But if you can't do the simple breath work, then how are you going to do the more complicated one? It always goes back to basics. The simple breath work, just coming in and out through the nose and just feeling joy, taking the mind to a place that you like. So you've started in a calm place and realized, whoa, that hopelessness I created. I'm thankful now. I'm very, very thankful that I'm aware of it. I'm thankful that I have the choices now to change it. It's so, so powerful and so simple. So one thing I just want to go over again is realizing this hopelessness as a learnt habit for a trigger, that something could have happened as a child to survive, as a young adult, recently, whatever it is. But it was a learnt habit. And if I can just put one point, that it's a learnt habit, and you can take away and realize that if you learnt it subconsciously that way as a defense, you can learn it in a positive way, in a calm way, to create what you want. So you don't have to be driven, addicted to the hopelessness feeling. You can place it with abundance, openness, looking forward to the unknown, looking forward to whatever's coming that way. I want to thank you. Thank you for staying through to the end. And if you subscribe, I appreciate it so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. I love getting the private messages and the texts coming through. Thank you very much, and look forward to sharing much more with you.